Just let me know when it's going.
Actually, you probably could do the countdown.
Zach says first.
Oh, he's here? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. We had a power outage.
Yeah, for some reason, like, the power went out.
Yeah. And then the router had to go through.
I don't know if that had anything to do with that really loud siren we heard earlier. So.
Actually, gotta turn some lights on.
I don't know what the fuck happened. Pookie doesn't know what the fuck happened. She's wandering around going, what the hell?
What happened?
What happened? We left it on for a little while to see if it would come back on, but it didn't seem to come back on. So we just stopped and started another one. So, yeah. Yeah, we had a power outage. I don't know what the fuck happened. That was the weirdest shit ever. All right. Everybody's piling back in. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you. Yeah, power went out. I don't know why. It's not storming or anything like that. It's just kind of... Something happened. Somebody hit a transformer or something. Maybe. I don't know what it was. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Oh, I pressed the wrong button.
What are you doing?
There it is. Turning the effects on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, Iris said sometimes things happen out of nowhere. Yeah, they do. What's up, Pope? Watch out. She's right behind you. She's trying to see what Daddy's up to.
Yeah, she doesn't understand it.
Yeah, she's like,
What the hell happened with this?
I don't know. Oh, now it won't come on? Great.
No, it's on. But I just
okay.
can't change the color.
Oh. Yeah, we want to go back to the blue so you can see it.
Everybody still coming back in?
Yeah. Cami came back. Jeffy Art came back. Iris came back.
Why can't I?
Zach says...
Turn blue.
Okay. That's not the same blue, though. We had like a lighter blue, like a teal. There you go. That's it. Allison said, I blame the cat. Yeah, maybe. Zach says, you want to hear some bullshit? I got a ride back from the synagogue last month at like 9 p.m. and it was $54 back home. How far was that? Because that is some bullshit, $54. I can't afford to be paying that. Although I will say that I got the bill for the tolls.
Yeah.
For going to Memento Mori and stuff. That shit was like $19.64.
Just for one night?
I don't know.
No, that had been like a
maybe it was no, it wasn't a month's worth, but maybe it was 2 journeys.
All right.
They do charge more if you do pay. No, you don't have to.
All right.
If you do pay by plate, they do charge more. But I don't see. I can't really justify like having the Sun Pass because we don't use it enough. You know, the only time we use that is when we go to Barbarella. That's the only time we use the toll road. Like, say, you know, if you go to downtown Sanford, you don't have to. Zach said it was only 12 miles. It was 12 miles and it was $54.
Damn.
All right, fuck that. Might as well just walk. 12 miles isn't that far. It's not that far. You could do it in like 3 hours, maybe.
You know, I'm going through this chick's pictures. I'm going to show you guys. Go back to what we were talking about. We were talking about how many people got in there now?
I don't know. You can see it. I can't.
Okay. Get a few more.
I can only see the chat. I can't see the number of people that are in there.
Somebody could probably type it in. They could probably see. See how many's in there. We had a power outage.
Yeah. In case you're just joining us again.
Yeah.
Did I put part 2 on the shit? Oh, I think I forgot to. That's okay. I can do it later. 16 says Kaylin.
16?
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was in the 20s before.
Well, that's okay. Some people like had to.
I was saying, look,
migrate over.
Look at how awesome these kids look nowadays.
Like
man, we would have killed to have that shit back in the 80s.
I looked like that in the fucking 80s.
And that's like.
I didn't have all that.
That's like 83 to I don't know. You probably saw that as late as the mid 90s, but that would have been like top notch shit. You'd have to spend fucking a shit ton of money to get that back in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah. Like I said, they're kind of
and it's easy to find.
Lucky in a lot of ways.
They're real lucky. They don't realize it though.
I mean, look how fucking.
What are you doing? Oh, thank you very much, Bryce. Thank you very much
Bryce.
for the super chat. Just tuned in. Happy to be here. Yeah, we had another stream going, but we lost power, so we had to start over.
Had a power outage.
Yeah.
Look how cute that chick is. Look at those fucking clothes. What year would you put that at? It's homaging what? Maybe 87?
Something like
80
that.
around
Yeah,
that.
maybe a little bit earlier, but yeah.
84 to 87.
But see, I love that. So like I
Yeah.
said, you even go to mannequins and you see like these people in their 20s and they look like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like they don't even like any of the new shit. They don't like any of the EBM or anything like that.
Yeah.
They're just kind of like, but man, they play Susie and the Banshees or some shit like that. Man, those bitches are all out there.
All right, so
Hilarious.
wanted me to show this to you. He says, "Can you show Jen this book? I think you and her will like it. It's about the relation between the Manson and the CIA,
Oh right,
and the
yeah.
possibility that they were handling him." And we just started reading it. This
Yeah.
is the book. This sounds tough. Chaos.
Yeah, that might be interesting.
Okay.
Tammy says today is my daughter's birthday. She's 31. Damn, I feel old.
Damn.
Don't feel too old. I could also have a daughter that was 31, but I don't. But I could. Zach also says, so how pathetic is it I'm still crushing on the Gibb brothers? That's not pathetic. That's fine. It is funny to me, though, because they're so 70s to me with the hair and everything.
I'll tell you what, man. The Bee Gees, their sound was tight. It was very tight.
I appreciate them a lot more
Yeah.
than I did back then. I will admit that.
Yeah. Okay, they're...
Yeah, Tammy said she's 55.
All right.
Yeah, so you're only a couple years older than I am. You're only a year older than Tom. It's not that
No,
big.
I'm that age, I think.
No, you're 50. You're 54. You'll be
54, okay.
55 in July of 2020.
That's right.
And I turned 51 last September, so like a couple months ago.
How come we can't see the plaque behind you? You moved. That's what it is.
I
Or
didn't.
did I move the camera?
You moved the camera. Is
Well, no.
what happened.
How could I? No, I didn't move the camera.
Yeah, you did. You were fucking around with it. I remember.
What did I do?
Good Lord, Tom. What are you doing? It wasn't way over there.
It wasn't?
No. I mean, it doesn't matter. Just leave it
It's
somewhere.
in the center. Okay.
Okay.
That's good. You can see it now.
I mean, that wasn't where it was, but it doesn't matter. I don't
Because
really
you moved.
care. I didn't move.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't
You
move.
moved. There. See, there you go. There you go.
I didn't move.
You moved.
I got up to go to the bathroom, but I didn't move the
You
chair.
came back and you moved.
Whatever.
And then here, hold on.
Whatever.
Hold on. There you go. See?
Okay.
Okay.
He's always got to fucking micromanage. Allison says, I'll be 56 in January.
I'm fucking old people.
Like I said, we're old too. So,
Yeah.
well, that's probably why we have like a lot of people that come in the chat and like come see the shows and stuff like that. Is they're the same age as us, so they
Yeah.
can relate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Overgrown children.
They grew up the same as well. Well,
Yeah.
like I said, I kind of feel like our Generation X,
Yeah.
we're not really.
We didn't really play by a lot of the rules.
Yeah,
but
we're not really
we
aging
didn't really
the
care as
same
much. Yeah.
as people aged in the past, I
Yeah.
guess. What is that meme that's going around? I think I sent it to you.
Well, we knew it was kind of bullshit.
Yeah. The one that said Generation X are the only generation that were 30 years old at 10 years old and are still 30 years old at 50 years old. And I was
Yeah.
like, accurate. That's accurate. And Allison says, I have no idea what I want to be when I grow up. I don't either, really.
When I grow up, I want to be an airplane.
Yeah. I love that. I love that you wanted to be an airplane.
Yeah, when I was a little kid,
That's
they
so
used to ask
cute.
me what I wanted to be when I grew up. When I was like 5 or 6, I want to be an airplane.
And everybody's like,
You
okay.
mean want to fly an airplane? No, I want
No,
to be
I
an
want to be an
I want to be
airplane.
an airplane, yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cute. You were such a cute child.
Chuck Tingle
Tom.
would understand.
He's got a whole subgenre of erotica based on that very concept.
Billionaire airplane boyfriend.
And there's probably some dinosaurs in there.
Yeah,
you know.
dinosaurs.
I was just watching a video from Zay Frank, who does all those really funny like nature videos, and he made a comment in there. What did he say? He said something like, adulting is like improv, but not the funny kind. And I was just like, yeah, pretty much. Zach says, I'll be 27 in March. Yeah, you could pretty much... He could be my kid, couldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be my kid. Isn't that weird? Not really, probably.
No, not really.
I don't really think of it as weird. Because we have friends that...
We have friends that could be our kids. We have friends that could be our grandkids.
Probably. Well, I told you it weirded me out a little bit because I was talking to Michael from A Starry Night, and he told me that he was born in 1990.
Yeah.
And like it had never really occurred to me that he was. I knew he was younger, but it didn't occur to me he was that much younger. I'm like, dude, it's like I graduated from high school in 1990. Yeah. And I was like, I could be your mom.
When I got out of the army, he was 4.
And he's like, that's all right. And I was just kind of like, oh my god, I never thought of it. But then I don't really think about it anymore. It's like, I don't know, it's not weird.
It's funny.
It's not weird. Zach said, if you guys were my parents, I probably wouldn't have near as many issues as I do. Maybe not. I kind of feel like in some alternate universe where we had kids, I don't know. Like, they either would have been, like, super cool, or they would have been, like, fucked up beyond...
They'd have been lame.
...recognition. You think they would have been lame?
Probably.
That was one of the reasons I really didn't want to have kids, because I just was kind of, like, worried that they would be super lame.
They've been normies.
That light is very, very bright.
Yeah, they revert to the mean.
Yeah, and it's just that kind of bothered me. I mean, there were a lot of other reasons I didn't want to have kids either, but, I mean, that was one of the main ones. I was like, man, what if I have one and they're, like... They're lame.
Yeah, they come out and they're like, we know people in the scene that are like that. The parents are fucking freaky as shit. They're funny. The kids are just
normal as shit.
Yeah, and they're like looking at the parents like,
ew, you guys are weirdos.
Yeah, and they leave and they never come back.
And it's just like, and I'm like, it's so funny. Yeah, because like I said, a lot of
country western music.
A lot of people in the scene are our age, and so a lot of them have kids, and a lot of them have kids that are grown.
Yeah.
Some of the kids are cool, but like some of the kids are just kind of like
they're like the opposite of the parents.
Yeah, they're like the opposite. And I was kind of afraid that that's what would happen.
Yeah.
Like if I ever had any. Kaylon Higgins said, I still love that study that asked men if they think they can fly a plane with no training, and a majority said yes. That does not surprise me at all.
I'm sure they can fly. Can you land it? That's the thing.
Well, see, yeah, that's maybe that's kind of the distinction.
I didn't land it, though.
Because that's kind of the more important thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you could probably fly a plane if you had to, but getting it back down on the ground, like without killing everyone, that's a whole other issue.
It depends on the plane.
Yeah.
A big jetliner, you're going to have problems landing that, But, my dad could fly Cessna, and he let me fly it. I didn't land it, just flew it. And once you get the handle it, you will get it on the ground, okay?
One way or the other.
You'll get it on the ground. You'll probably survive. That plane won't.
Yeah.
You'll tear that fucking plane all up, and you'll probably put yourself in the hospital. I've seen action cams of guys wrecking ultralight aircraft, and fucking, I'm like, man, this dude's gonna die. I mean, this fucking, you've seen it from his point of view, and that fucking thing's rolling, and I'm like, man, how are those wing spars holding together? Because the wing spar on a ultralight is not very strong. I mean, it's only meant to go forward. Really, and this thing's fucking doing rolls and shit, going straight down to the ground. I'm like, man, he's gonna try to pull out of that, and it's gonna fucking snap those wing spars. He didn't though. He got out of his problems, and he got into a spin. Got out of it, and landed it on the nearest thing, which was the road, like a highway. It was underneath him, and he was shitting bricks when he landed it.
I also would be, so can't blame him.
But I was like amazed that he made it. I was like, man, they must have took this action cam off of him after he died. It did wreck. It did wreck. It fucked the wings all up and everything. But he survived it.
Was he messed up or was he unscathed?
No, he was okay.
Oh, okay.
He's okay, but
didn't break any bones.
It was all bent up, But an ultralight is not that expensive, You can fix it. And he got out of that fucking spin. It was amazing. But he was screaming.
Again,
he was screaming during all that.
I don't blame him for that, not one bit.
Yeah, he was trying to stay cool,
I don't. You know what? I don't begrudge anybody. You think you're gonna crash in a plane and you don't really know what you're doing, and you can just scream and shit yourself and stuff like that. I don't think anybody's gonna judge you. I'm not going to.
He was doing what he. I think he lost flow over his control surfaces because the control surfaces weren't responding. I really couldn't tell if it was some kind of flat spin or what kind of spin it was. But he got it right. He eventually got some airflow over the control surfaces and regained control. But he was real close to the ground when he finally got control, and he basically just belly flopped it onto a fucking onto a fucking road. There wasn't any cars around or anything. 2-lane highway, just belly flopped it. It just crushed. But it all absorbed the shock when it crumpled.
Right.
And he got out of there, and he had a camera on his helmet. Because they're kind of dressed in something kind of like motorcycle gear in a way, the helmet on and everything. And he runs out of it, and he's fucking screaming and yelling, looking back at the wreck, and he goes, I made it! I made it! I made it! Fucking, yeah. You lucky motherfucker.
Again, I would also be doing that.
Lucky motherfucker, yeah.
Oh my god, I should go get a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I would be
doing. Yeah, and he was several thousand feet in the air.
I just really hope that I am never put in that situation.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying right now, it's like I would probably like fucking flip the fuck out. I don't know. Maybe if I was in that kind of situation, I'd be like, oh my god, I'm going to figure this out. But I just kind of feel like I'd be like, and I would just be like, oh well, I'm just going to crash.
Yeah, he wasn't a new guy. He was experienced.
Right.
So.
You never know, like, until
even
you're
an
actually
experienced
in
person.
Yeah. Because even like, even people that are experienced with that situation or have been trained in that situation, I mean, everybody can freeze up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He wasn't freezing, at least.
Yeah.
He was screaming and trying to get back. He was trying to do whatever he had to do. He was trying to get airflow back over the control surfaces, I believe.
Oh my god.
Nothing was responding. It was
That's
just spinning.
Another one of my worst nightmares.
Falling and spinning, and none of his controls were responding.
Like I said, and I said this on the Made Eating Animal show on Wednesday night, I said one of my worst ways to die is like being eaten by a shark or a crocodile.
Yeah.
Also in my top 5, being in a plane crash. No thanks. No thanks. I really do not like flying planes. It didn't used to bother me until I was on a really, really, really bad flight to London one time that had like horrible turbulence. Like whereas like plane dropping hundreds of feet in the air and like shit like that. Yeah, no thanks.
I love them.
No thanks. I know you do.
Especially helicopters. But, man, we used to have so much fun in the fucking choppers, man. Flying nap of the earth over fucking Korea. Looking out and I'm watching the rotor blades actually hit the limbs of those Korean pine trees. That's how close we were. That fucking blade will go right through the pine tree. Just the tops, because they're not very big. Thing was fucking amazing. And doors open. None of that door closed shit. Strapped in. Fun. Fucking, when you were really jamming, you're like 150 mile an hour wind, 200 knots, something like that. I think their top speed's like 200 knots. You're probably going about 130, 140. I like being in a motorcycle kind of. It's wild, man. I liked it. It's a different sensation than airplane. Airplanes are real predictable. Fucking hell, choppers are all over the place, man. I know what you're talking about, that in turbulence when you dip.
I mean, the thing about it, a helicopter might not bother me as much.
Yeah.
One, they don't go as high, so that's one thing.
They go pretty high.
Well, I know, but not as high as an airplane.
Yeah.
Like a 747 would. And I don't know. Like you said, it's a different experience. I kind of feel like the problem I have with planes is that my imagination starts taking over, and it's like, it seems like it's just going woo, but it's like, so I always have to like tell myself that it's like, well, I'm just on a bus, I'm on the ground, I'm on the ground, I'm on the ground, because if I think that I'm like way up in the air in this little fucking metal tube, it like freaks me the fuck out, and I start having a panic attack.
If you're air assault infantry or airborne infantry and you're flying at choppers, it's nap of the earth, especially if it's at night. The fucking pilots are using NVGs. It's like riding a roller coaster. Because you're going up mountains,
which I love
over
those.
The top of them, so you're going to pull a lot of negative G's, and sometimes they're doing the same route over and over again just to get put in hours, and they're having fun pulling negative G's, diving down the other side of the hill or the mountain, and fucking you're leaving your seat and fucking you got all your weapon, At the time I was an M60 gunner, I'm carrying the 60, my helmet fucking going up. The doors are open, so wind's blowing in. Wind to blow in and catch your K-pot helmet and fucking be like a parachute, be pulling you like that. You're trying to stick your chin out to tighten up your chin straps so your helmet doesn't blow off. There's all kinds of wild shit, man, we were doing. But most of the time it was just normal, flying straight and hovering and going across a gulf, Gulf of Aqaba when you're in Sinai, in Egypt. Fun shit.
Zach says, imagining entirely goth families is a really amusing thought to me.
Yeah, goth families.
It does happen, though.
Yeah,
it
we party at their houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just like any other, it would be just like any other subculture or whatever you want to call it. Like, the parents are into the shit. Sometimes the kids get into the shit. Sometimes they don't. Like, sometimes they go off on their own thing.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised how many times the kids are actually into the shit.
Yeah, and then they show up at the club.
Yeah, we had...
Their parents are there.
Yeah, we had that happen in one particular case. They're a little younger than us, but they have a couple kids that are grown. And one of them, I think she just is off doing normie shit. I don't think I've ever even met her. Maybe one time. But their younger kid was really into goth shit when she was a preteen. And then in her teenage years, she was kind of like, fuck that shit. You guys are weirdos, blah, blah, blah. And she went off and did something else. But then when she got to be about 17, 18, 19 years old, she's like, oh, this is kind of cool. And now she starts now she comes to the clubs, which I thought was super funny. Yeah, they're all talking about kids. Yeah, the thing about it is that, like I said, I never wanted them. I have 3 siblings. My brother, who is 4 years younger than me, and his wife have 4 kids. 2 of them are theirs, and 2 of them are hers from a previous relationship. They're all pretty much grown now.
I never even thought of them.
I didn't really either. Yeah. And my 2 younger siblings, my sister has, been in a relationship with a long-time boyfriend, and my brother is married. Neither of them seem particularly interested in having children. I don't know if they might at some point, but I don't know. I just kind of feel like probably not.
I was having so much fun, I never even thought of it.
Yeah, it's just kind of like when I was younger, I was like, nah. It's just, it never seemed like it was for me. You know what I mean? Like I said, some people love that shit, and it's like they want to do that stuff, but it's like, I don't have that gene.
I couldn't imagine it now.
I don't have that gene.
I don't have the energy anymore. I couldn't imagine it.
Well,
now.
That's what I mean. And I told my mom that, when I was younger, I was like, I'm pretty sure that I wasn't born with that, whatever that thing is that, people have that makes them want kids. I'm like, I don't have that.
Yeah.
I don't have that. And I think she thought that I would change my mind later, but I never did.
We were always busy. Well, by the time me and Jen hooked up, we were already beyond the age, really.
I mean, I met you, I was, 38?
Yeah, and I was fucking...
38, 39?
I was about 42, 41.
Right, and the thing about it is, I married when I was...
on our second marriage.
Yeah, I mean, I married when I was in my early 20s, and me and my ex-husband talked about it for, a minute, and then we were kind of like, nah. He's like, nah. And I was kind of like, yeah. You know what I mean? We just, I was like, I never even thought about it, and he wasn't really, jazzed about it either, so I'm just kind of like,
they
okay.
just caught the live stream for the first time.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm way behind.
Yeah.
Way behind. Where was that? Hey, there's John Smith. John Robertson. Hey, guys. Finally made a live stream. I started school for a pharmacy technician, and have been busy lately. Oh, we have a friend that does that. Okay. I also started the novel Slewfoot, and I heard Jenny talking about it. It's good so far. Yeah, I'm about a quarter of the way through it. I want to do a review of it, but it's just kind of I don't want to rush through it, but I really need some more time to read. You know what I mean?
Tomorrow, when we wake up, we're gonna go to the Chinese buffet and pig out. And across the street, they got a AMC theater. We're gonna see Godzilla 0. All right.
Or is it -1?
-1. That's
-1.
-1. Godzilla -1.
See, you only told me that one time, and I remember.
Yeah, she remembered. I forgot.
Because I'm smart.
Everybody's saying it's great. It's a Japanese Godzilla movie.
I saw the trailer. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. It's not an American one, evidently. I think they said it's a Japanese one. And they said it's the best Godzilla movie since the original. They said it's fucking great. And it was a cheap movie, only $15 million budget, but they said it was just done right. The CG is awesome. It's not I think it might be a Toho movie, but I don't think it has the suits. I think it's CG. Based on what they said, I haven't seen it. But they said it's the best movie this year.
Yeah, we might go see it tomorrow.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
It's probably.
They got a show. The first show is at 1:10.
Okay, we'll just remember that. We'll try to get up early.
Yeah, or we can see the second one too.
Yeah, because I was if we're going out tonight, I don't know how that's gonna. I don't know how that's gonna play out. We might sleep until noon. Yeah. I don't know because that happens sometimes.
Movie, man. They say it's just fun.
Yeah, that might be fun.
It's like watching the Meg or something.
That might be fun.
Yeah.
But what else was I going to say? Oh, they dropped the first trailer for Furiosa.
Yeah, I heard.
Today.
Is it good?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It looks
seen
pretty
it yet.
good.
It's gonna be good. When's it coming out?
I don't know. That was just like a teaser trailer.
It'll probably be pretty good.
I mean, I would imagine it's George Miller, right?
Yeah.
How can he can't fuck that up?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, he's got that cute chick being Fioruza, right? What's her name?
Anna Taylor-Joy. Yeah.
Yeah, that girl's so cute.
She is. She's adorable.
Yeah, I just like her. She gives off a lot of good energy.
She's been in some great fucking movies too.
She was in that great No Time to Die too.
Yeah, she's been in a fuck ton.
She was in fucking Blade Runner.
She's been in a fuck ton of stuff.
Yeah.
No, that was
I saw the same girl.
No, that's Anna de Armas.
Oh, okay. Which one is this then?
Anna Taylor-Joy. She was in. I remember her from the. She was in The Witch, right?
I didn't see it.
I don't think you saw that.
Then I guess I didn't see it.
You might like it.
I thought it was that girl from Blade Runner and
No, that's a different chick.
yeah, what's her name again?
They do sort of
De
look
Armas,
alike.
right?
Anna de Armas.
Anna de Armas. That's who I thought it was.
Yeah.
It'd be great if it was her.
Anna Taylor-Joy was in Last Night in Soho.
Okay, yeah, she's pretty good.
Last Night in Soho.
Yeah, she starred in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was her. That's her.
Yeah, she's good. She's good. That was a great movie.
I love that movie.
That was a good movie.
I feel like nobody talks about that, and
No.
it's just kind of it's Edgar Wright, and I mean he's
that was a good
the
ghost
shit,
movie.
right? Yeah, I really liked that movie. I think I think
Great
it's
color
on.
palette.
I think it's on. You can watch it for free now. I think on Amazon Prime or something like that. I mean, I think we reviewed it when it first came out.
You guys want to see a fucking sexy fucking ghost movie with a lot of dark shit in it? That's the one you want to see. What was it called again?
Last Night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho.
I really
It's
liked
a
I
British
really liked
period flick. It's happening in London,
Yeah.
like in the '60s.
I really liked it.
Parts of it.
Yeah, it kind of goes back and
Goes
forth,
back
like
and forth
from
to two different
modern
times.
day to like
Yeah.
the 60s.
Yeah.
Allison said, "I'm too selfish for kids." See, I think a lot of people say that. I don't think it's selfishness necessarily. You know what I mean? I just kind of feel like
I was working on other projects all the time.
that's what I mean. I just always kind of felt like I had other shit I had to do.
And then the money.
That too. They're very
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
So.
All those people that have them say they're not that expensive. You just fucking pop them out, fucking just give them something, they'll be all right. And then they're out of here.
Well, they're still expensive.
Yeah. I don't know. We know a lot of poor people that have them, but maybe they're poor because they.
I mean, shit. Well, yeah, that's probably the. I mean, shit. We've got cats, and even that's expensive. Like buying all that stuff, buying food and litter and all that kind of stuff. So I can imagine, like, it must be a million times more expensive to have fucking kids. Hang on. Camp Guy said, my daughter had a shit boyfriend for a long time, but then she got rid of him for good and now is married to a real man. I'm so glad she got away from that loser.
Okay, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
John Smith said, my mother and father were kind of old when I was born, 40 and 55. Wow.
Yeah.
John Robertson said, I never had the desire to have kids, but my siblings are 12 years younger than me, so they are technically my kids, or they seem like it anyway. Yeah, I mean, I have younger siblings, but they're not, like, my brother's 4 years younger, my sister is 7 years younger, and then my other brother is 14 years younger.
Okay, so what time do we have to end the show? Around 9:30, probably.
9 or 9:30.
Okay,
so
so
we still got like an hour.
Got
That's
about an
fine.
hour, so we're good. Okay.
Yeah. Bryce says it might also be cultural. If you come from a culture that is all about having kids, it might be different. Americans seem to be more about individual freedom, which I like. Yeah, I kind of feel like it's sort of left up to you. Like, people do still, probably not so much nowadays, but people do still kind of look askance at you. It's like, if you don't have kids. But I don't know. I don't think they really do that much anymore. Because you're just kind of like, I don't really want to have kids. And everybody's like, okay. You know what I mean?
America's kind of a genetic meat grinder. You come here, your chances are you're not going to reproduce, especially if you go to an urban area. You're going to be too busy, you know. And it's always been that way. You move to a big city, you're not going to have kids.
You're like, well, you're having too much fun.
And that your bills are high.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah, and you're probably not dating much. Having kids was more of a suburban and rural thing. You could get away with more. That's over the past 200 years. This 200 something years this place has been here.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's just
They got all that time on their hands. They're not in the rat race. And they have children. They go, well, we had one. And that one runs off. You know, joins the army or something.
like I said, and some
Goes to
people
university.
fucking love kids, man.
Yeah.
My mom loves kids. She had 4 of her own. She came from a family where she had 7 brothers and sisters, and she ran a daycare.
Yeah.
She just couldn't get enough of them.
Yeah, some people like them.
And I was like I said, I did not get that gene, that's for sure.
Some women are just built that way.
I did not get that gene.
Yeah.
I told her that before. I'm like, no offense, but I didn't get that. Yeah. Because I grew up like surrounded by a lot of kids, and I was just kind of like, man, this is annoying as shit. I don't want to spend the rest of my life doing this crap.
I was an only child, so I was the kid.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit about other kids.
It's so interesting to me because it's just kind of like, I've hung out with a lot of people that were only children, and it's just kind of like, that must be so weird. Well, it's not weird to you, obviously,
No,
because that's the only thing you don't know any different.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like the whole only child versus people with siblings thing, because I have 3 siblings, so it's just kind of like, it's an entirely different experience. Entirely different.
I guess so, yeah.
I mean, from what I know, like, of talking to people that were only children, and I was just like, it's so different.
I didn't even think of it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, you wouldn't, because it's like you didn't, like, I don't know what it would be like to grow up as an only child, because I was only an only child for the first 4 years of my life, and then my brother was born. So I don't really remember, anything about it. John Smith said Tom's life ambition to make sure every all-you-can-eat buffet loses money when he's a patron.
Fucking right. I'm going to go make you pay for that shit. Right? I'm going to go right to the shrimp. Go right to that boiled shrimp.
Was that a joke? All you can eat? Joke's on them.
Yeah. I'm going to go right to that shrimp, start tearing that shrimp up. We're famous there now. The waitress and the waitress.
Because we go there almost every weekend.
Hey, how you doing? got a Chinese waitress that knows us. She got a cute booty too.
She's
and
super
her boyfriend works there, and they were playing grab ass behind the fucking. I said, Jenny, he's grabbing her ass.
And we caught him one
Caught
time.
him grabbing his ass. Yeah.
And they still remember that.
Yeah, 2 Chinese people.
It was very funny.
Yeah, Chinese woman.
Because he was all like, grabbing it. And I was just like, oh my God, look how cute.
She's giggling.
Because they're like super young.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, look at that.
They're not super young. They're probably in their 30s.
I mean, they're adorable though. Yeah. Like the 2 of them. And it was just like funny that every time we go there, they just... Yeah. So she like giggles every time she
giggles
sees
when
us.
she sees us. Yeah.
Because she knows that we caught her and her boyfriend like grab
I
ass.
guess so.
Playing grab ass.
He was grabbing that ass.
She does have a cute little butt though.
Yeah, she got a cute little butt.
Tom made me look at it.
Yeah, so look at that ass. Chinese girls don't have that ass. She's got it pops out. It's a bubble butt. And
yeah.
That's kind of rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Far East. They have it, but it's rare, more rare. He was noticing.
Well, clearly.
He was noticing it. Yeah, he was grabbing it.
Like, not right on the floor or anything, but it was kind of like behind
in the waitress station.
Yeah.
They had it. They had a little wall there, and there was a little bit of a curtain. But the curtain wasn't full, and they were running around, and I saw him. I saw his hand, and she's running from him, giggling. He's back there grabbing that ass.
Sounds
then they come out and pretend like nothing happened. They're both smiling and shit. I'm like, I saw it. She's laughing. She was grabbing my ass.
He's like, yeah, we saw that.
Yeah.
So it's like now every time we come back, she kind of like giggles at us.
Yeah.
John says I also came out as gay, so everyone was like, okay, we will stop asking for kids and grandkids. See, that's another thing. Let's see. Oh, I got way behind on the comments. Zach said, I can't believe it's been almost 9 years since Fury Road came out. That is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't let me down. I hope that's a good movie. Should be.
It'll be a good movie. I'm not worried about it.
He said when he dies, he's gonna hand it over. He's gonna hand it over to some guys that were gonna do real good with it.
Yeah.
Some younger guys that know what he's into, what the story's about. It's like you don't want to hand Star Wars over to Disney, you know what I mean? Which they learned that mistake. They learned from that mistake.
Tammy says, I think it's more selfish that some people have kids only because they want to show them off like some kind of dress-up doll. Yeah, I've always thought that too. That's why I don't think it's inherently selfish to not want to have children. Because I think some people just have children, like you said, for selfish reasons, you know?
Yeah, sometimes you'll have a single girl who has nothing going for her life. She just wants to get pregnant so she can have a living doll.
Yeah, I mean, and we've known some people like that too. So,
yeah.
And, you know, some people have kids, it's just like, oh, they want a mini-me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is, that's fucked up. That's another person. Like, you can't impose your shit on them. You know what I mean?
Well, you got to guide them.
Sure, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that you kind of have to let them find their own way. That's a different person than you.
Yeah, well,
You know
when they
what I mean?
get older.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you still gotta guide them, especially if it's a boy. They're fucking dumb.
Boys are dumb. That's
Yeah.
all. Well,
you gotta have an adult male to go. You do that, I'll beat you.
No,
fucking
no
ass.
disagreement from me.
Yeah. The girls aren't quite so dumb.
That's true.
Yeah.
In general.
It's hormones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you realize it.
Teenage boys got to be kept in check,
Yeah, you really gotta like.
or they'll just fucking run amok.
Yeah. Bryce says, I always avoid babysitting friends' kids because I got too many of my own. He said he had 4, which some of them were, ex-girlfriends and stuff like that. But Allison said I like to babysit him. I don't even like to babysit him. I said, I know this is maybe going to be controversial, but I don't really like children. I just don't. They've always just been. I don't like anything that like makes a bunch of noise and it's just kind of like.
Well, babies and stuff. Yeah.
That's what I don't like babies either.
Yeah.
I don't, like I said, I don't have that gene. You know what I mean? I know it's kind of like a thing where it's like, oh, somebody brings a baby and it's like all the ladies are like, ooh, and instead of like, yeah, I don't do that. I don't like babies. I'm like, yeah, you just keep that over there. That stinky little screaming whatever. I'm just like, you just keep that over there away from me. Thank you.
Tammy said Red Lobster lost a lot of money from their all you can eat shrimp special.
Oh, I was reading an article about that the other
Did they?
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they decided, because you know how they used to have, I don't remember what they called it, but endless shrimp or whatever they called it.
Endless shrimp. Yeah.
And they would usually just do that seasonally or just kind of with like it was a special event. They decided to start doing it all the time, like as a loss leader. They knew they were going to lose money on it, but they thought it would bring more money into the restaurant. But I think it ended up costing them more than they thought because everybody's like, okay,
they were tearing that
challenge
up.
accepted.
Yeah.
And like went in there and like ate all the shit. So
I can go into that Chinese buffet, and me and Jen will be the only people actually getting those shrimp. Most people, and very few people get the crawfish. There's crawfish sitting there.
Yeah.
But I like crawfish, but I don't like those crawfish. They're not seasoned.
Yeah, they're a little bland.
They're too bland. I like Zataran's fucking seasoning in there. It's got to be hot, real hot crawfish. And the crawfish themselves, I don't like cold crawfish that much. I like them to be hot. But that fucking, what's the name of that place?
Ichiban.
Ichiban, yeah. It's not as nice as Koi Wan, but
it's not as far either.
Yeah.
Like Koi Wan is kind of far.
5 miles farther in another direction. The traffic's a lot worse. Still want to go back there though. But
well, if you want to drive and pay for gas, we can go there tomorrow if you want.
I want to see the movies.
Oh, that's right. We're gonna go to the movies.
But what's good about Ichiban is it has real good fucking pot stickers. The dumplings. There's a lot of stuff that's good there.
I mean,
It's just not as fancy.
Right.
It's not as fancy.
They don't seem to be suffering though, because man,
it's packed.
We went there.
Yeah.
We didn't go last Saturday. We went Sunday because we didn't go anywhere Saturday, and that place was heaving. It was just it was full.
Yeah.
It's like it was hard to get any food because everybody was just milling around all the shit. You know what I mean?
They're tearing it up in there.
Holy crap! I think it's because Sunday they give you like the dinner stuff like all day, but for the same price as the lunch stuff.
I know. I think we got lunch price. Booty Girl gave us lunch price.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
I thought that was the deal.
No, it was
Sunday
dinner all day.
That's why. Yeah.
Dinner all day, but not for lunch price.
Right.
For dinner price.
Which isn't. It's not like a huge difference. The only reason that
like
we
$3.
noticed.
That's it.
Well, no, I'm saying like as far as the food goes, I think they have more out. Like they have like roast beef instead of ham.
And then roast beef was
like
good.
a few. I did notice they didn't have any egg foo young though.
They didn't, did they?
No, because I went to get some and they didn't have any.
Yeah.
I don't always get it, but
we actually eat health food at the Chinese restaurant.
well, I don't eat any carbs.
We don't eat any carbs. We don't eat any noodles, any rice.
No rice, no noodles.
We just eat meat.
I just eat meat and, vegetables.
Yeah, I'll eat a couple of pot stickers
and
that's got a little bit of wonton.
Like I'll have fruit for dessert.
Yeah, fruit, and then I'll eat some ice cream.
I don't even have any ice cream.
And I can eat ice cream. I'm on steroids. I'll burn that shit up. But I'm eating mostly just protein. Meat and sauce. I'm smart, man. I'm not going to fill up with that bullshit. But, man, sometimes I'll break down. I will eat a slice of pizza from the Chinese restaurant. It's the weirdest pizza ever, but there's something just good about it.
It is kind of good, though.
There's just something kind of good about it.
Like, it doesn't taste...
It's like cheese bread.
Yeah, it doesn't taste exactly like a pizza. It's almost like it's steamed.
It's like it's steamed. It's light and fluffy. But it's like light and
but
fluffy.
But it's kind of good.
Cheese bread. It's really good, yeah. Yeah, but I wouldn't call it pizza. So sometimes it is pizza. Sometimes it's got a crispy crust on the bottom.
It depends on who's cooking that day, I guess. But it's like really funny because sometimes I'll be sitting at the table and like he'll come back and he's got like a piece of the
little piece of pizza. And I'm looking like I'm all guilty and shit, 'cause that's all carbs. That's all carbs.
He'll give me a bite of it sometimes, but it's like I don't usually get that.
And the cheese is like 4 mix Mexican cheese blend.
Right.
So it's got cheddar on it.
Yeah, like I said, it's weird. But it's still it's kind of good though.
It's good, yeah.
In a weird way. Although I don't know if I'd necessarily call it pizza.
Cheese bread.
It's kind of more like cheese bread. But there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
It has some tomato sauce on it, but there's no toppings.
Yeah, it's just cheese and a little bit of sauce, and it's kind of pillowy.
Yeah, it's fluffy.
It's kind of pillowy and fluffy.
Yeah.
So it's almost more like a
bun.
bread, like a bun,
almost
like a bread.
Bun, yeah, like a steamed bun.
But it's kind of good though.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I don't usually get it, but I usually get the same thing. I get shrimp, I get vegetables, I get broiled fish.
Yeah.
And then
fish is good.
I get a bunch of mushrooms.
Yeah.
Then
sauteed mushrooms.
Then I get some a little bit of chicken with broccoli.
Yeah.
Sometimes egg foo young if they have it.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
They have all the sweet and sour stuff. They'll have the deep fried. They have fucking chicken wings there.
Oh, and sometimes I'll get a chicken thigh like on a skewer.
They got chicken wings there, and they have fucking blue cheese dressing, so you can make a whole chicken wing plate if you wanted to. You could. It's not just Chinese food. It's anything you want. Too bad y'all don't live here. We'd all meet up at the Chinese restaurant.
I mean, I feel like they're all kind of.
We'd have like 50 of us at the Chinese restaurant. We'd just take that bitch over.
That would be fun.
That'd be fucking funny.
Everybody should. Yeah. We're gonna
go to
Ichiban tomorrow.
Down in Leesburg.
It's in Leesburg. Yeah.
Leesburg.
It's in front of the Lake Square Mall.
Yeah,
like
it is
in front of the.
It is country as fuck.
Across from the Rub and Tug.
Yeah, it's.
Although.
Turns out it's not. They're not rubbing or tugging. They're rubbing, but they're not tugging. Evidently. They're rubbing.
We were because we make jokes about it every single time.
Every time we go there, Jenny, let's go get a rub and tug.
Because I was like, Tom, are you sneaking up here and getting rub and tug when I'm not like around or something like that?
No, I'd go to the Oriental Spa if I was going to do that. That's in the other direction. They're doing it there.
Oh, okay. You better tell me about it after. Don't be doing that shit behind my back. But yeah,
I'll bring you with me. You'd be in the table next to me. We'll both be getting it.
So I was like, I got curious enough to look up the Yelp reviews. Yeah. And from the Yelp reviews, it seemed like it was just a legit place that didn't, because nobody made any weird innuendos or anything like that, because that's kind of what I was looking for.
Yeah, some of them have innuendos.
That's
on
what
the back,
I mean.
You know?
One of the
this
distinctions.
Is a great place, and I'm always happy when I leave. The ending is always happy.
Wink.
Well, then you know what's going on there.
So I always kind of wonder. Well, we always make a joke because when we pass, because it's right there, across the street. And there's hardly anybody in the parking lot. Well, yeah, I looked it up because I was like, well, how much is it to get a? And they said a couple's massage. Yeah. And most of the reviews were from women actually. Yeah. And they said, yeah, we got a couple's massage for Valentine's Day or whatever. And what did I say it was? 160?
Yeah, it was like 80.
130 or
it was $70.
No, I think it was $80 each.
$80 each, yeah.
But it was an hour long or 90 minutes. Okay. And they said, so, I mean, that's not that unreasonable for that amount of time. And then it's a lot of people were like, oh my God, it was amazing. They did hot rocks and all that other kind of stuff. So I just they just do regular shit. I didn't really see any reviews on there that hinted to me that they were doing some sketchy shit.
Because they do have that.
We
know a girl that worked in one of those places.
Well, yeah. And and I think that the distinction being, I think that you have to look, if the people working there are masseuses, then it's going to be a rub and tug. If it's a massage therapist, that's a whole different thing. You know what I mean? We just kind of like to joke about it because because nobody's ever in the parking lot, and I was just kind of like wonder about it.
Yeah, it'll be open. Nobody in the parking lot, and the
Nobody's
parking lot
there.
next to it's filled.
Yeah,
Like,
we're always like,
those dudes are all parking.
everybody's
over
going over there like
lot.
cheating on their wives,
Yeah,
like
they're
getting
parking
fucking
that parking lot now.
getting hand jobs,
Yeah,
like over it.
Yeah.
But they're probably not. But
Yeah.
I mean, we like to entertain ourselves in that
Yeah.
way. John Robertson said, "Hey Jenny, I found a book you would like. It's Psycho Sanitarium. It's about Norman Bates when he's in the asylum after the events of Psycho, and it's a great read and very suspenseful." Ooh, that sounds really good. I'm gonna write that down actually, because I'm guessing it's kind of like between Psycho 1 and Psycho 2, because Psycho 2, which came out of the 80s, was when he got out of the asylum. That's a great movie, by the way. So I'm gonna write that down. Ooh, Psycho Sanitarium. Okay, I will write that down, and I will eventually read it and do a review on it, even though I have like so many. Because I wanted to do, because remember that I did the review of the Joe Hill novella, The Pram, and that was one of 6 novellas that Amazon put out for Halloween, like their creature feature thing with like a bunch of big horror authors and stuff. And I actually checked all of those out because they were free. So I wanted to do reviews of all of those. I read the Grady Hendrix one, which I think was called The Ankle Biters or something like that. And that was actually really good too. So I might do a review of that, but we'll see how it goes. And I want to do some movies too, because somebody recommended a movie called The Limehouse Golem, which I think was from 2017. They described it, and I looked it up. I think it's on Tubi, and I was like, oh man, that sounds like right up my fucking alley. So I might do that. And then I also said, when I was talking about Pontypool, that I wanted to do a double feature of The Signal and Await Further Instructions. So I'm going to do that at some point too. But that'll take longer because it's 2 movies. You know what I mean? All right, so where... Oh, I got way behind. Oh, I got so behind. Yeah, rub and tug.
Yeah.
It's just fun to talk about. It's fun to imagine stuff like that.
Jenny
even if it's-
fantasizing.
I'm just I'm fantasizing
Yeah,
about
her
you
me
getting...
going in there together, getting serviced by these fucking strangers and shit. We're holding hands across the table and shit like that. Jenny's got the action cam. She's fucking recording like that.
Well, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
they probably wouldn't let you,
No,
but
they
like
wouldn't
in my fantasy,
They
I
wouldn't
would,
let you.
I would
Yeah, yeah.
imagine that they would
Yeah.
let me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna film some content. You know what I mean?
Jenny reaches her fucking moment of fucking revelation, and I'm fucking zooming in on her like that, zooming in with the camera.
That's awesome.
No, but what's funny is that that area we're talking about is not the posh areas of fucking Florida.
It's really not.
So it adds to the humor, okay?
Well, I think that's why we
It's the
think it's
real
funny.
redneck
It is
area.
very kind of like redneck.
It's the real
yeah.
redneck area. And Ichiban, what we're talking about, is kind of run down. The food's great. It's fucking packed, all right? And half them people are Yankees in there. You hear New York accents, and they're all retirees or old people.
Yeah, it's a bunch of old people,
Yeah.
just generally, and big, massive families.
Yeah, I saw a family of
Because it's cheap to feed a bunch of people.
Yeah, there was a family. I heard them talking. They were across from a family of New York Ashkenazi Jews in there, and they were just white as they were paler than us. Blonde
Which
hair,
is
blue
saying
eye,
something.
real strong New York Jewish accents. It was like the parents are probably in their, I don't know, 50s, and the children were like in their 20s, and they're in there fucking just chowing down on fucking Chinese food, and just the way they're walking around, I could tell they hadn't been here long.
Yeah.
I could tell they hadn't been here long. They were just fresh from New England, fucking New York. I know, I lived there. There's a big difference, but they were enjoying themselves though. They're like, look at this place. Look at these savages.
Which I get
It's
it.
fucking funny, Yeah.
I mean,
It's
is
a different environment. It's a different
Yeah,
environment.
I mean, where we live is kind of like a it's a rural area for sure.
No. Not as
Rural,
rural as Mississippi.
rural-ish. It's rural-ish.
This is the edge of the suburbs where we are right
Yeah.
now. There's still farms out here, but you go 10 miles in any direction, and there's Orlando's only a few, fucking half
It's
hour
20.
away.
It's 28 miles
28 miles away. It's a half hour away.
to downtown Orlando.
To downtown. Yeah, so
28
we're not
miles.
far from.
So yeah, it's a pretty quick 25
Yeah, it's
minute
nothing
drive.
like Heidelberg, Mississippi, where I lived for a while, where you had to go fucking 3 hours to get to a city.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, it's not bad.
So my standards are a little bit different than Jen's.
That it reminded me though, like driving to Ichiban like last weekend. The weird. Remember when we brought up that weird kitten sign?
Yeah, there's a new one there.
There's a new one. Like last Sunday, we drove to Ichiban, and I was like, "Ooh, I wonder if they changed the sign." Now it says "Kitten Happy TG," like Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And it was like the weekend after Thanksgiving, and I was just kind of like,
whoever's doing that,
somebody is coming out doing that.
They're dedicated. They've been doing it for more than fucking 10 years.
That's what we need to do, like, this is a whole, like, mystery right in this area.
You gotta do a whole fucking show.
Whoever is doing that sign, I don't know what it is. But it's just kind of like, it's on the side of, it's in a little place called Grand Island, I think, that area. And it's just on the side of, I think is County Road 44. And it's just this sign. Is it chalk? I don't think it's chalk. Is it? Well, because I guess it would wash off.
No, it's spray paint.
Oh, okay.
It's spray paint.
So he must does he put a different sign out there every single time?
No, he paints over it. He paints over the sign.
It's like a little black sign. It's on the side of the road.
Yeah. What he does is that when he takes a roller and spray paints over the message, and then fucking spray paints over that. That's all he does. Or it's probably just uses spray paint to spray black over over the old script, because that'd be more efficient. But it's a black sign, and it's because he's using black spray paint probably, and then the lettering is spray painted. It looks like kind of that brightly colored spray paint that you use for doing surveying. You know, like the surveying paint.
It doesn't change every week, because sometimes it'll be the same for, a week, or 3 or 4 weeks at a time.
It's in a color that's almost neon usually.
Yeah, but it always says kitten at the beginning, but then it'll say like something else. Like, so the last one said Happy TG, like Happy Thanksgiving, but before that it said Kitten Has Claws for like 3 weeks, and then prior to that it said Kitten I Love You. What are the other ones that we've seen?
We Kitten Has Claws. Kitten.
We saw Happy Birthday one.
Yeah.
Kitten Come Home.
Kitten Has Claws.
That's another one. It's super weird. It's just kind of like, and we can't figure out like why the person is doing it, but they're obviously still doing it. Like I said, it's like we kind of want to set up a trail cam like on the side of the highway and see what happens. I looked it up online, and it's like there was an article about it a few years ago, because apparently like a lot of people were like, what the fuck is that all about? Because they would pass it. I mean, like I said, we're kind of out in a rural area, so there's not like a lot of shit about it, but other people noticed it too. But the article was so old that I was like, oh man, it's been going on for like much longer than I thought. Like I said, it's not changed every week, and sometimes it says the same thing. Like sometimes it goes back to an old one, but I was just kind of like, I don't know. It's just weird to me, because it's just kind of, I read and write a lot of true crime, so my first instinct was this is a person that their daughter or something like that is missing, and they're trying to like reach out to them, and it's like that's kind of what I thought. But Tom's like, maybe it's nothing sinister like that, but I'm like, I don't know, it just seems kind of weird. Like, not sinister, but I don't know, it seemed kind of weird to me. So I'm always just kind of like, I don't know what the fuck is going on there. I always don't want to know, because it might just be really boring. But it seems creepy. It just seems creepy to me. John Smith said, yeah, your local Toynbee Tiles mystery. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it's like, I don't even remember when we first noticed it, because whenever we first started driving to Ichiban, I was like, oh, look at that sign. I don't even remember what it said the first time. But then it's just like we started noticing it like every time we passed it. I'm like, sometimes it said something different. And I was just kind of like, what is that? Like, what is that all about? And I'm sure there's a house back there, but you can't see it. You know what I mean? It's this house, it's the sign, and it's like on the side of the highway. And there's kind of a trail, and I'm sure there's a house back there, but you can't really see it. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know if the person that lives back there is doing it, or I don't know. It's weird, but they've been doing it for a long time, evidently, according to the article. Because when did I say the article was from? a few years ago, and they said at that point that it had been going on for like 10 years.
10, 11 years.
At least, like, people had started noticing it. So it's somebody that has been doing this for like a really long time. And they're still changing it.
Yeah.
Because they just changed it like last week. Yeah, Allison said it's a weird story. Yeah, it is weird. It is weird. I don't get the kitten has claws thing. I think that's the most common one that we've seen.
Yeah.
Because it's almost kind of like he reverts to, or whoever it is that's doing it, like reverts to that when he can't think of anything else.
It looks like a man's handwriting, if you ask me.
I pictured it as a man, yeah.
Yeah.
I pictured it as a man.
What's people saying?
Allison said it was a weird story. Oh, and they're talking about... Allison said she was an old person from New York, from Queens.
Okay.
And then she said Queens accent, and I think like Bryce, who's from New Zealand, said, "Oh, you speak the Queens?" When I was a kid, the woman that taught me English wanted me to speak the Queens. She was strict about that. So yeah, so they're kind of like joking about that. And then Allison said, "I watch EastEnders. What do I know?" That's pretty funny.
That accent sticks out like a sore thumb in Florida. It's just diametrically a fucking opposite of fucking everything that's here. It's just it's ridiculous.
Well, there are a lot of New Yorkers here though.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and that's been true ever since I was a kid.
What's funny is that I'll go down.
Because it's hot down here. Like they moved down here when they retire because the weather's nice.
And it's not only New Yorkers; it's people from Canada. I'll go down to the Oasis, and they got some of their regulars who are in there every fucking day are from Canada and New York. And just these fucking Canadian accents and fucking New York accents. I kind of feel sorry for the guys. Warlock's Motorcycle Club goes in there and fucking kind of bullies them a little bit. You know what I mean? Fucking heard one guy goes, "Hey, if I ever catch you play," what he said, "If I ever catch," what was that band? "If I ever catch you playing Neil Young on that fucking jukebox again, I'm beating the shit out of you." He says, "Okay, all right." That's like that. Like, yeah.
That's some old school shit.
That's some old school shit there. Yeah.
That's like my grandpa's
Yeah,
age.
you ever play Neil Young on there?
That are mad about
beat the
that.
shit out of you. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm surprised like people are still like upset about that.
They're old guys, but you know they're bikers, man. Fucking those guys were. But actually, those dudes weren't that old though. They would have known. They were in their 50s. Yeah, that's just old enough to know. If you guys know what I'm talking about, is that. There was a big war between Neil Young and Leonard Skinner back in the day.
I hate Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, I don't really like Leonard Skinner. I actually like Neil Young's music a little bit better. Leonard Skinner was kind of fucking annoying, you know. But Neil Young was a Yankee, and fucking Leonard Skinner was Southern as shit. And they got into a big beef over fucking the North-South thing, and. And some people here still remember it. Now, in that particular case, I don't think that had much to do with the actual beef between those bands. I think it was just the fact that Warlock's Motorcycle Club are Southerners, and or at least this branch that's down here, and they just do not like the fact that Northerners are moving here. So when they go to a motorcycle, this is only in a motorcycle bar, basically. This is a biker bar, okay? And when bikers come, when these motorcycle gang guys come into biker bars, they kind of run it, you know? And in that particular case, if I ever hear you playing Neil Young in here again, I'm going to beat the shit out of you. He's like, all right. Fucking funny. But, what's a guy going to say? There's like fucking 7 or 8 of them in there, when that happens. Fucking Oasis. I like visiting the Oasis. I just can't really fucking hang out at the Oasis, man.
I can't believe
after a while I just
about Southern man after all of these decades.
After a while I just like fucking going like,
holy crap,
I can't take this fucking music anymore.
God, it's horrible.
I can't take this fucking music. I gotta go.
Well, remember when we went down there the other day? Well, it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a biker friend of mine and a ex kind of female friend of mine.
Yeah, our friend Melissa was down there with her boyfriend. They ride bikes, and they were on their way to Daytona, right?
Yeah, they were going to Bike Week.
They were going to Bike Week.
Yeah.
And they stopped at the Oasis, and we went down there and met them. And man, the music in there.
It'd get to you after a while.
I was just kind of like, man, it's the middle of the afternoon and I don't want to get drunk, but I kind of do want to get drunk.
Yeah,
because I got to deal with this fucking. They even started playing like some new country, and I was just kind of like, Jesus fucking Christ!
It's like going back to 1991.
Ugh. It's like if you're gonna play country, can you at least play some good shit, like old shit, like Johnny Cash or Hank Williams or something? God damn.
Well, it's just
that new country is just
kind of crappy music.
It's vile.
Yeah. When I go in there, though, you know, and the jukebox is application operated off my fucking tablet. You can pay for shit. You can even pay more to get your music moved up. There's all kinds of games you can play on that shit.
You can like drop your dick on people.
Yeah, I play metal in there.
Yeah, I got more money than you, so I can play my music.
Yeah, when I go in there, I play a lot of classic metal or Motorhead or.
I kind of feel like people probably wouldn't object to that.
No, they listen to it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. To it. Who doesn't love Motorhead?
Yeah.
Come on.
And then I went
Everybody
on
loves Motorhead.
I started DJing. The shit costs you to DJ too. But I started DJing and fucking the bartenders, the chicks were fucking loving it. I went on a whole fucking 007 fucking theme fucking playlist.
I love that.
Yeah. World Is Not Enough. Fucking View to a Kill. I did some of the new.
You for real like played Duran in there?
Yeah.
Like I was in there before.
Those girls loved it.
When you played the Chris Cornell.
Yeah, Chris Cornell one.
But
fucking and then I played the one from the White Stripes ones with fucking from
right.
Sauce played that in there.
Good.
Which fucking it was Alicia Keys and the dudes from the White Stripes. That's a fucking great theme song. So I did 007 themes. But I played some Cure in there, and those girls even
what
older
song
girls,
was it?
I played "Boys Don't Cry."
Oh, okay.
And
that's an old one.
Yeah, and fucking some of them girls our age, they're not girls, they're women. Those women in there fucking you play. They immediately knew what that was.
T.
They don't really listen to that shit that those dudes are requesting. They liked more new
old
wave.
Dudes are they get kind of ossified.
They're ossified in that shit. So I started playing chick music. They thought it was chick music. They fucking girls were loving it. Played Pretty in Pink. I played the.
Oh, you played like psychedelic first?
I played the Billy Idol cover of Pretty in Pink.
He did a cover of Pretty in Pink.
Oh yeah, it's good. It's really good.
Oh, okay.
That song,
I thought you played like the psychedelic first version.
No, the Pretty in Pink actually was gonna be a Billy Idol song.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. He didn't buy it, and it got sent to the.
You're thinking of that Simple Minds song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That was a Simple.
Don't You Forget About Me.
Yeah, that was a Simple.
That was supposed. Yeah, Simple Minds. Yeah.
Because I was gonna say Psychedelic Furs.
Yeah.
Wrote Pretty in Pink. It came out on it came out on their album in 1981.
Yeah, it wasn't Pretty in Pink. It was Don't You Forget About Me. That's what I played. It was
Pretty in Pink. Actually, the movie was based on the song. And the Psychedelic Furs did another version of the song in 1985 to put in the movie.
Yeah.
But I actually like the original 1981 version better. It's a rougher, like more punky.
Yeah, I made a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like sitting there going, I would have known about that.
Don't You Forget About Me.
Yeah, okay.
The Billy Idol's version of it.
Right, which is good. I actually
It's
like
good,
it.
yeah, real good.
Yeah, because Don't You Forget About Me, the Simple Minds song, was actually given to Billy Idol first, but he
liked it.
He didn't want to do it.
No, he wanted.
Well, he did a version of it, but
he did a version of it much later.
Yeah,
much later. Like I think in the 2000s or maybe the 90s, late 90s. He liked it at the time, but his management and stuff said that song was kind of soft. That might have been a little too soft for his image. So he took their advice, but he said that. He always kind of doubted that was the right thing to do. That he probably should have done that song.
I'm sorry, but that's a great song.
Yeah, dude, that was offered to him.
So
he did
no matter who
instead.
did it, it's a great fucking
He did
song.
another one instead. I don't remember which one it was.
Zach says, "Now I wonder is country metal a thing?
Yeah,
everything is a thing.
Country metal's a thing.
Although it probably shouldn't be, but
the best, if you ask me, the best Southern retro country metal band of all time was from Wales. It's called Nazareth. Was it Wales or Scotland?
I thought they were Scottish.
They might have been Scotland, yeah. Man, they had me fooled since I was a little kid listening. I say little kid. I was a teenager jamming to Nazareth, and I thought they were Southern as fuck.
Nope.
Man, this shit was from fucking Scotland. I had the album No Mean City, and then the Hair of the Dog fucking album. This is just, it was like a Southern version of AC/DC. It kind of had a real hard Southern rock sound to it. To us, we thought it was. I thought it was a lot better than Molly Hatchet, but I'm not.
I do
Molly
too,
Hatchet
actually.
fucking sucked.
I don't like Molly Hatchet.
But that was like real. That was Southern rock. But the I don't know if they intended that to have a Southern sound, but it sure as fuck did.
No, I'm sure they did. Well, because
yeah.
here's the thing. Particularly during that era and even into the 1980s, I'm just talking about like the late 70s, early 1980s, a lot of British and Australian bands, even ones that were post-punk or something like that, were fascinated by the American South.
Yeah. Okay.
So a lot of them tried to, well, and even bands like the Rolling Stones and stuff like that were trying to replicate the sound of like Southern blues.
Wild Horses
is what they were trying to replicate.
Yeah, Wild Horses is
so a lot of them were into that. Well, like I said, this is kind of more in my wheelhouse. Look at somebody like The Birthday Party with Nick Cave's old band, who were Australian. He loved old Southern blues.
Yeah.
And so that informed like a lot of their sound. Yeah, it doesn't sound like blues really. It sounds like I don't even know how I'd describe it actually, but it does have like a blues influence to it. And like when he went solo, like a lot of his later stuff was like very blues influenced, and he did a lot of blues covers also.
Yeah, that was pre-internet era, 80s, mid 80s. I'm jamming out the fucking Nazareth's fucking No Mean City album. Got the damn alien on the cover. Great lyrics. And I'm thinking, man, these motherfuckers are tight, man. They sound good. It's kind of like a real hard AC/DC, but with kind of a psychedelic, almost kind of like a little bit of a Deep Purple kind of sound to it. And fucking Southern. And I'm like, man, these motherfuckers must be from Alabama.
Nah.
No, they're from fucking like Scotland
or somewhere.
And I think they're extinct. I think every one of those guys is dead by now.
Yeah, maybe so.
But it was a good band. I haven't heard it in a long time. I had to go revisit that and see if it stood the test of time. But back in those days, I fucking thought it was awesome.
Victor said, I think it's funny when people here say, Texas is full, stop moving here, and you click on their Facebook and they're originally from Missouri or some shit. Yeah. I mean, That happens a lot in Florida because people are like, hey, don't move here to Florida. I'm like, bitch, you weren't even born here. I was born here, okay? I can tell people to fuck up. But I don't, though.
Southerners are all Southern, though.
But I'm just saying.
Right.
Don't pretend like you were born in Florida. No. My ass was born in Florida. I was born right in Daytona Beach, Halifax Hospital, motherfucker.
And there has always been migration within the southern states and out of the southern states.
Yeah. And so it just seems dumb to like...
It's always been going on.
To kind of focus a large part of your identity around that, I feel like.
Well, some families have been here for generations.
Yeah, and I get that.
In the South for generations.
Yeah, I get that.
Like my mother's family was actually originally from Virginia, going back to the 1800s. This was with my granddad, who ended up working for McDonnell Douglas and fucking, he was a fucking aerospace engineer. He worked for all kinds. He worked on the fucking Saturn project. I've already bragged about this shit. Anyway, they ended up moving to California like in the early 60s, late 50s, but they were Southern. But you wouldn't know it talking to them, you know what I mean? Fucking, not really. And my mom and all her sisters were born in California. But the family was a Southern family. Now, a lot of them have moved back into the South. Most of them. And then some of them actually moved to the Middle East, which was a long story because they married military guys who got jobs, ex-military guys who got jobs as like helicopter pilots and bodyguards in Qatar and fucking Dubai and shit. They're ex-Task Force 160 Special Operations Aviation guys. Frost, CW3 Frost, he was my uncle. And he had a brother. They were both in that Task Force 160. And they're both in the Middle East. So a Southern family doesn't necessarily mean it's in the South. Some of them are fucking spread out across the fucking world. I mean, I lived in fucking Brazil for a while. Fucking Egypt, Korea.
My dad's side of the family are from Springfield, Tennessee. That's where my grandparents were from. That's where my dad was born.
Yeah.
My mom's side of the family are from Baltimore, Maryland. But they moved down here before I was born. But like I said, I was born in Florida, in Daytona Beach. Allison says, Tom and Jenny, have you seen Velvet Goldmine? Yes. Yeah. I love that fucking movie. I love that fucking movie. I don't think have we reviewed it?
No.
Oh, maybe we should. I have it somewhere.
Velvet Goldmine was the one that was kind of like Iggy Pop and David Bowie, right?
Yeah, but like fictionalized.
Fictional. Yeah, right, it was good flick.
Yeah, I love that.
It also had like a fictionalized version of like Sid Barrett from fucking...
Yeah.
From Pink Floyd, he was in it. Yeah.
Which was that's a great idea for like a movie.
We gotta see that again.
I know, I love that movie. I love that movie. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've ever reviewed it. Maybe we should do that. I might have it. I think I thought I had it somewhere. But I'm sure we can find it if I don't have it.
Got all kinds of comments. Go and see what they think.
I know, hold on. They're talking about like ZZ Top. Camp Guy likes ZZ Top.
ZZ Top, yeah.
Nah, I'm not a fan, but you know.
Yeah, it was a little too poppy for me in a way. I mean, it was like fake Southern shit. But you know what? I tell you what, that was popular in the South when I was a teenager.
Yeah. Well, it still is.
Still is, yeah.
It still is.
Popular.
Victor said, my family founded the town of Benavides, Texas. We didn't cross the border crossed us.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how that happened.
Yeah.
Zach says, dad's side are from Northeast Indiana, and mom was born in South Dakota, but grew up in Louisiana.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
I'm a fan of Louisiana. All of my cousins live there. They're all Cajuns.
Well, you lived there for a while.
Yeah, I lived there.
I've never been. We've always said we were going to go one of these days, because I've never been.
The dirty South. Yeah.
I just want to go there and eat my way through the whole entire city.
Yeah, it's not as good as it used to be.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go like during its heyday, so you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll take what I can get.
Best of the fucking Bourdain. What's his name? Paul Bourdain. Is it no?
Anthony Bourdain.
No, not Anthony. Paul Prudhomme.
Paul Prudhomme. That's who you're talking about.
Best of the Paul Prudhomme era Cajun food actually comes out of people's kitchens. That's I'm sure there's a few restaurants out there, but they're going to be constantly changing. You know what I mean? They're going to be in business for a few years and then go out. You'd have to see what the scene is like right now, and it wouldn't be in the French Quarter, of course. That's tourist shit. Probably find some really good shit around Slidell or Metairie, that kind of shit. Slidell probably could be a good bet. It's more suburban. It's a smaller town outside of New Orleans. Probably real good restaurants there with decent prices, with old school culinary experience,
Zach said, we were there March of last year, and oh my god, it's still so pretty down there. Yeah, Tom hasn't been in a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been there.
It's been a long time. Well, like I said, we've been talking about, we need to do a trip one of these days.
Yeah.
We've never really done we've been together 13 years.
Never been anywhere.
And we've never really been on like a big trip anyplace.
Working. Paying for shit.
Yeah, can't really afford it. Like I said, I went to St. Augustine, but I went by myself, for a few days. But that was kind of that's pretty much it. You went to Mississippi to visit your dad for 2 weeks. That was about it. We didn't really go anywhere. We've been to Universal Studios for a day. Yep. That was about it. We never went on any trips.
We just go to the club.
Yeah, pretty much. Victor said y'all should come to San Antonio. Maybe we should. Yeah. I don't know. There's lots of places I want to go. There's lots of places. I just never had any money, Never any money. I never had any time.
I gotta fucking send a message to Melissa. Ask her if anything's going on in New Orleans.
Because that's drivable.
Yeah. Yeah, you could drive that. Not with the car we have now.
Well, no, I would rent a car probably.
And we'd buy another car. That car's on its way out anyway.
It is, yeah.
But drive up and see Melissa, and then go to the French Quarter.
See, I would love that. I think that would be fun.
If they've got anything going on in the French Quarter, any goth clubs, we'll see. They used to. It used to be the Crystal. The Crystal and the fucking Convent. Or there's another one, yeah. Crystal, the Convent. Hellfire Club was another one, but it didn't last long. Just got to see what's going on out there.
Yeah, a lot of them don't last all that long. Although I will say that one of our premier goth clubs here in Central Florida, which is the Castle in Tampa, I believe just celebrated its 32nd year, 33rd. I can't remember. They were having a big party for it. But yeah, So I can't believe that place has been there as long as it has. Because like I said, they normally don't last all that long. Although iBar, where we go, or Barbarella as it's called now, that was there for 30-something years. It's not in the same place, but I mean, it's still the same club, pretty much. It's just like in a different location now. But it's been there, I don't even remember when they opened. Because I remember going there when I was younger, you know what I mean? So that's been there a long time, which like I said is unusual. You know, normally you have one and it's there for like a year or two and then it folds or something. Because it's usually like not a big enough scene to maintain it, you know? But every now and then you do kind of luck into something. What's the French Quarter? Oh, it's a very famous area in New Orleans, Louisiana. That's kind of where all the tourists go. You know, that's where, when everybody thinks of New Orleans, that's what they think of. That's like the main tourist area. It's like, you know, you go there for Mardi Gras and all that kind of stuff. You know, like I said, Tom he didn't live in New Orleans, but he lived like close enough that he could drive there, like for clubs and stuff. Let me see. Yeah, Bryce was asking what the French Quarter was.
You know what the French Quarter is?
Well, because he's from New Zealand.
All right, in New Orleans, there's an area called the French Quarter, which is the French neighborhood. It's around Esplanade and everything is one of the main drags there. It's where it's been there forever, you know. But recently, that's where Marilyn Manson and fucking the dude that fucking Trent Reznor lived. Right outside the French Quarter on Esplanade, I believe it was. They had a house there.
A lot of shit was like set. If you read Anne Rice or Poppy Z. Bright or something like that, like a lot of
Vampire Chronicles.
A lot was set there.
Yeah, it's been the French Quarter. It's got some old architecture, but it's nothing but bars and shops and clubs and people walking around. Then there's Bourbon Street. That's like the main drag, and you're gonna see some wild shit there. Now they got a lot of topless bullshit. During Mardi Gras, they're throwing beads around. But I was never really into that tourist stuff. I was hanging out in the golf club down near, what was the name of the place? I don't remember the road that was near. It doesn't matter now. It's been a long time. I could find it, but I forgot what the name of it was. Decatur Street, around there. That's where I used to hang out. And they were kind of hole-in-the-wall, gritty clubs. Old buildings, you know. Some of them 1700s, 1800s. Brick buildings, a lot of them. And for a tourist area, very dangerous. You'd have a lot of cops there, but people got shot, they got killed there, you can get robbed. It's in the middle of the fucking hood. The hood surrounds it, and they'll come in there and fucking rob you and shit. So, much more dangerous than, say, New York. You know, fucking New York.
I walked around New York City all day and all night long, and like I never had anything.
I lived in Detroit.
Saw some rats, but that was about it.
I lived in Detroit on fucking 2nd West Hancock near fucking Cass Corridor, and that was the murder capital of the fucking world during the time I was there. And I never had any problem in Detroit. You have all kinds of problems in the French Quarter. You're gonna go to French Quarter when you were me back in those days. You were gonna have to fight to defend your shit. You know, you're gonna.
Well, because a lot of people there are not from there.
They're not
too.
from there.
Like it's fucking, a lot of tourists.
They're drunk and they're acting crazy. And then you got predatory fucking criminals that go in there to try to fucking rob people and jump out.
Because they know that people aren't from there.
Yeah, they know they're not from there. Now, we'll hand it to NOPD, New Orleans Police Department. They put their best cops in there to protect the but they can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
Rest of the NOPD, a lot of them are just shit. I mean, they're recruited from the normal. I mean, they had NOPD guys getting fucking on death row for fucking doing multiple murders and fucking robberies and shit. One of them was a woman, an NOPD woman who went in with her gangster boyfriend and fucking robbed the place and fucking they moved him into the fucking walk-in freezer and shot him. And her boyfriend was like 16 and she's like fucking 25. It's fucking crazy shit. It's just a dangerous place. But there's something about that danger that made it exciting, you know. And tourists everywhere, you know. It's almost kind of has like a casino-style atmosphere mixed with like the Wild West. That's what the French Quarter. Back in the time I was there in the 90s, late 90s, mid to late 90s. That's when I would go. Well, we were having all kinds of goth events down there, man. We would have fucking Convergence. We had Convergence down there. I think that was 98.
Huge. That was like
It
one
was
of the
fucking
biggest
huge, yeah.
goth things in the
Goths
country.
took over all of fucking Decatur Street.
Yeah, they had it every year.
Yeah, and they were from all over the world, man. Had fucking goths from Germany.
Yeah,
Europe.
people would come from everywhere, like
Yeah.
to go to that one event, like because it was annual.
And that was deep in the Anne Rice era, man. Fucking, they all had vampire fangs and cute as shit, and fucking, man, shit was sexy. That's where I met my first wife. Which she was cute too, man. Fucking, you know, fucking. But we weren't together long, year or so, a couple years. But that's what the French Quarter is. I haven't been there in a long time, but it hasn't changed because it's always been that way. It's been there for hundreds of years. Because even before there was a United States, there was a New Orleans. You know, it was French. First it was Spanish, and then it was French. And then it got purchased in the Louisiana purchase in the 1700s. So it was just always there. It was a pirate cove. It was a pirate city. Literally.
Yeah.
Literally pirates.
Well, kind of like Tampa was.
Yeah, like Tampa, right.
That's why they still have Gasparilla,
Yeah.
like the big pirate festival every year. Because it's right on the Gulf of Mexico, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bryce asked, interesting, do they speak French?
No, I got cousins that live there. They've been there for forever, I guess, and they're Cajuns. And they have a different accent, you know, kind of a French. And they have French names. Part of my name is French. My middle name is Francois.
Yeah.
So, I mean, related with all that.
Well, there's a dialect, Creole.
Yeah, Creole.
Which is like a pidgin, what they call a
like
pigeon.
Pidgin English, of French and English.
It's like a
and
French-English
yeah.
hybrid, kind
Yeah.
of. So you do hear like some old-timers like speaking that.
Yeah, that's very
sometimes.
rare now, though. Very rare.
Yeah, you don't hear it much anymore. I
Right.
kind of feel like that's kind of more an old person thing.
Cajuns are country Creole. Creole are kind of like city people. They're the same people. Cajuns and Creole are the same thing. A Cajun is a country version of a Creole. Now the real redneck version of a Cajun is a coon-ass. All right, coon-ass. And it comes from a French word that sounds like counasse, I think is what it's called. They call it coon-ass. It means fool. Redneck. Fool. Yeah. Yeah, like that, yeah. It could also mean whore, though, too. Dirty whore. That's another interpretation of what they're talking about. Those dirty whores.
We like dirty whores.
Yeah.
That's just, it's kind of interesting because, you know, like I said, Bryce is from New Zealand. He's on the other side of the world. So it's like, so he wouldn't really know.
Yeah.
Like, that's like pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, they usually, I have heard like old people in Louisiana speaking that kind of, like, you can still understand what they're saying, but sometimes you need kind of,
Yeah.
you need kind of translation.
Kind of sounds like this here, there. And then in some areas, it almost sounds like something from New York. They do a little bit of that. Because there was a New York influence on New Orleans. A lot of New York gangsters left New York to fucking open up business in New Orleans. So
It's a fascinating place, to be honest.
I'm trying to fucking get to our show on this, but for some reason it's not going to. Hopefully, we're still good, huh?
Well, everybody's still talking,
Screen is
so
good? Okay,
nobody
good.
is like saying anything that we're not. So
All right.
I will note though that it is 9:18.
Okay, yeah, we got to shut
So
it down.
should we wrap it up?
Let's
Because
go ahead
we
and wrap it up.
probably need to
Yeah, we got to start getting ready.
head out toward
Yep.
the bar.
All right. Well,
You know what I mean.
thank you for speaking with us, and we will close this show down. You all had to party, and we got to party, and we talked you in to this weekend.
Yeah.
Have a good weekend, people.
Now Monday we're probably gonna do Haunting in Georgia.
Okay, yeah.
And
yeah.
Haunting in Georgia, or Haunting in Connecticut 2, Ghosts of Georgia.
All right, so we do a paranormal show on
same thing we
Sunday.
did last week, but with the Georgia.
Yeah,
one.
and too bad people didn't show up for the live stream. Not many people. We didn't get many hits on that either. I don't know if it was maybe they didn't understand what we were doing or what. But normally paranormal shows are quite popular. But that last one we did, not many people watched it. Did you notice that? Like
Well,
200.
no, I didn't. Like.
It was like 200.
Well, we're still gonna do the other one.
We're gonna do it. Yeah.
said we
Maybe it'll catch on.
Yeah, we'll find out how.
Because we're doing extra shows.
Yeah, and I might do some more shows. Although I might have to wait till Tuesday because I got like a bunch of movies and shit I gotta watch. But yeah. So thanks everybody for dropping by this evening.
Yeah.
Thanks for all your super chats. Have a good weekend, y'all, and we will see you again on Monday night. Good.